What you doing, beloved?
Attention, attention, my black brothers. What I want y'all to do right now is take out the do-rag, the silky, tie it down. I want to see the waves glistening. If you got nappy hair, pick it. Don't let nobody discourage you.
Ariel.
Black boy, black boy.
So, girl, okay, so I am literally done with niggas. Like, I am fed up with niggas, all right? So I'm gonna give you this little rundown of what the fuck I'm dealing with. So before the pandemic, I had was conversing with numerous guys, platonically, with me, of course, wanting to have some romantic interactions with them eventually. And just out of nowhere, all of these niggas just were really bad texters. Like, when I say, these girls could no longer, hold a conversation or would take, days to respond to me, it would just be so confusing. So I was like, not one is doing this, not two is doing this, but all four of these guys are, text illiterate. And one of the guys had the nerve to be like, hey, is it okay if, we, FaceTime, right? If we just FaceTime. And I'm just like, how do you feel about FaceTiming a person that you don't even have, a texting relationship with, first of all? I'm asking you.
Well, I think people see. Here's the thing, because I'm a person who likes to do. I like whatever is in front of me. What I'm going to pay the most attention to. So texting is easy for me to forget about because I don't want to hold my phone. Versus if you are on FaceTime, you have to give someone your attention. So maybe he's like that.
All of them are?
Maybe one.
So it's two that said that to me.
They both said they prefer.
Literally, 2 people out of 4 said that to me. 2 people told me that they prefer me for FaceTime to call them. But my mindset is I don't FaceTime and call all of my friends. Me and you, we don't always be on FaceTime. Our friendship is not we are always on FaceTime. But we do FaceTime. But it's not all the time. With certain friends, I only text them. And then when we see each other in person, so it was just that FaceTime type of thing. Because, for example, some people don't just talk on, some people expect you to just be talking on FaceTime all the time. Girl, me and you could be literally cooking, washing dishes downstairs or away from the camera. But we FaceTime them, right? But some people need that constant.
But did you FaceTime the dudes that said that they prefer FaceTime?
One of them.
Because did y'all talk the whole time, or did you do other shit? Did you give them a chance?
No. It wasn't any other stuff in me, girl. It wasn't. It was just I had texted them and be hey, do you want to go on a date? FaceTime and be hey, do you want to go on a date?
Well, I mean,
so it was
the reason I'm asking is because you were when you and I FaceTime, we doing a whole bunch of other shit. And you're right. That's why there's nothing to do, because we can multitask. Did you do that with them?
No. It was a call literally, hey, what do you want to, hey, can we, do you have plans? Let's go. It wasn't hey girl, hey, it wasn't none of that. It was literally I'm calling you because I wanted to check in and see if you want to go out.
That's dumb. Now that's just stupid. Because you could have sent
me
a text.
But when somebody tells you that they like to be talk on the phone, why would I text you that?
No, I understand why you did it, but
right.
Okay, let me run it back. You confronted them about not being good texters.
Okay, so I did not confront them about being. I didn't.
So how did we get to a point where they were I prefer FaceTime?
They said this to me because they was realizing that they were not responding back.
So did they FaceTime you?
No, they didn't FaceTime me.
Oh, well, then I guess you gotta go. Because you can't tell mode of communication when you're not communicating in that mode. Because if you have FaceTime, your ass probably would have FaceTimed me now. People don't like to be FaceTimed without warning, and that's fine.
Oh, that's absolutely me.
But this
is what you don't get.
Can I FaceTime you? Hey, I'm so sorry. I'm a bad texter. I prefer FaceTime. Are you open for a call? Because then it's okay, you want to talk to me. But it sounds like them niggas just don't want to be spoken to. So,
period. That's all. That is my logic. Because ain't no way that you tell me this and you don't do what you say.
Yeah.
You tell me you prefer to FaceTime, but then where is the FaceTime? Also, shout out to Cuba Quadera. You see my Javaria, which I'm going to have to beat her up. Vari, she has new merch. This is not actually a new line, but this is the old line. But yeah, shout out to Cuba Quadera. Shop the merch, all that stuff. But yeah, like, I am just confused about that. I am really, really was confused. So what I've done is like gradually like let them go and talk to my therapist about this because it was just like, that is just weird. It's just so weird to me that like that dynamic. But it is what it is. Well, what is up, everybody? It is your boy, Lord Devery.
I'm Derwin King.
And welcome back to another episode of That Black Boy Joy, where we create a space where black boys can be themselves and so much more. Sis, why do you look so good right now? Like, I am like looking like shit. And
position was camera so I can, but this computer I can get.
I look like shit, and you look like the shit.
I went to work today. I'm currently, I'm experiencing a lot of mood swings lately. So what I like to do a lot of those times is just sort of like look good so that I can hopefully feel good. And it doesn't often work, but I'll be looking good anyway. So I do thank you for the compliment.
Period.
I was just at work today. There was no special, literally every person who saw me at work today was like, hey, wow, you look nice. And they asked me that yesterday.
Yeah.
Sometimes I do.
I'm gonna take this look for tomorrow. I'm gonna take this book. I'm gonna take this out the book of Derwin.
It made me late to work because I was trying to figure out how I wanted to incorporate the blazer, and all the things that I tried didn't work. Next time I wear this, it's just going to be the sweater and the blazer because I feel like that's going to be super fucking cute. But it
casuals it up. It makes it more casual.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna
in the tie.
Yeah, it'll be fun. But thank you.
So okay. Compliment. You're welcome. How do you feel about like business casual, business professional, and like workspace? Do you think there's a blur? Do you think that like we need to like stop? We need to like get away from that business professional type of lifestyle or like business casual?
No, I love business professional. I just think people should have.
What you think you got on?
Is that what this is? This is like business. I have a tie.
Yes, bitch.
Casual.
But it's business casual though.
Oh yeah, no. I feel like I personally like having clothes that make me feel more dressed up. Like I just don't think that making those mandatory for every day is necessary. But I also think, and I feel this way about any job, if you are going to require that I wear anything, there needs to be a budget built in to my pay that covers that. No, for real. Because one thing
I get that.
When I was working at Tory Burch, they required you to wear Navy. And girl, I didn't have a whole bunch of Navy in my closet. And they didn't have a uniform for me.
That's a lot.
So they gave me a card so I could go buy the clothes that I needed so that I could wear the uniform.
Oh, that's great.
When your expectations for a bitch to show up to work looking a certain kind of way, you finance that process or you get what you get. And that will be the same.
Yeah, you can be
the reason why nonprofits let you wear what you want to when you come into the office because they know good and goddamn well they're not going to be funding any sort of. They know it.
You're not about to be over here funding. You're not about to be funding. If you need me to dress like something else, girl, just give me that. Give me that docket. Give me that money because I'm about to come here looking like a kindergarten teacher on your ass. That budget is giving me CEO. You about to get very much artist on a budget, hobo chic up in here.
Every time.
It is what it is. Every time. But you look good. For the most part, I know, this is just a casual look. I'm going to get my life together tomorrow. But, here it is. But we're going to get into our Black Boy Joy Spotlight for this week's episode. And this week's Black Boy Joy Spotlight for the week is a man that goes by the name of Carlton Jordan. He is the creator of the YouTube series Pasrox. So that's what I was about to say. I was about to say he is the creator of the Paz. So he is a creator of the YouTube series called Pasrox, and it is basically about the life of a 20-something-year-old woman who finds out that she is HIV positive, and it just navigates her life dealing with, figuring out where she got it from, how to have the conversation with individuals, because she also excommunicated people out of her lives because she didn't know how to deal with that. And then also figure out how she can cultivate relationships, healthy relationships with partners. So it is a very unique take, not unique, it is a very fresh take on the conversation of HIV because, sometimes the conversation definitely, is in a space with queer men, and this actually is a straight identifying woman.
Nice.
And then also her navigating like her normalcy in this, sometimes people label it as like a death sentence or like it's like a ticking, like it's a death, countdown. But in this case, it is not that. So you all should definitely check out Pasrox on Slate TV, which is an amazing space where they also have For the Boys. And then I think, what was it called? About Last Night, or what was that, One Night Stand? No, it was something like another show. I think it was about I forgot the name of the show. Where it was like Love at First Night. Love at First Night. Love at First Night.
Is that about a one?
So yeah, it's about a one night stand, and they become like a couple,
Right.
and just the navigation. Two queer men navigating that, and then For the Boys. We love For the Boys. It's also on Slate TV and Pasrox, so they are definitely putting out some content for the girls. So shout out to Clayton. I just forgot the name.
Yeah, I want to just really quickly throw in a 2 cents there. Like, that is pretty dope because no one ever really talks about the this main character is a black woman, right?
Mm-hmm.
No one really talks about the like the inclusion of black women in the HIV positive demographic, straight black women, heterosexual black women. So I think it's important that that conversation does get decentered strictly from LGBTQ men and trans women. That would be specifically black ones anyway. I'm going to watch that because I have a lot of questions.
Yeah, watch. I would love to see your thoughts about it as well.
Yeah.
There's of course queer characters in it. It's predominantly queer characters.
I subscribe to the show, so every time a new episode drops, it comes to my phone. My issue is that I watch the same things over and over again, so I don't be making time for shows. But
But check it out. Make time. Shout out to Carlton. Jordan, not Clayton. That was me on some weird shit. Shout out to Clayton Carlton. I did it again. Shout out to Carlton for creating that show. And we are about to get into some of our hot topics for the day, ladies and gentlemen. Child, so we're going to get into our Girls Over Potomac. Sorry.
I was like, wait, what? What they got going on? Because I saw that group picture they took. It was cute.
Which one? The Potomac Girls?
Mm-hmm.
What the fuck are they? Girl, they gave us a shitty ass season. Why they taking group pictures? What they
It was Ashley. It was all the light skinned people. It was Ashley, Robin. It was Giselle and Karen.
Karen, yeah, the light skinned girls. Of course, they left out Candace and first of all, they did leave out what's her name? The one that's not going to be on the season. I think
the loser.
The loser. The one that just she was the new girl.
She's a loser.
Yeah, new girl.
God, Mia.
Yeah, I thought I was going to be on a group of classy girls. I said, oh my God. But anyways, let's talk about our Girls Over Salt Lake because there's some drama going on.
I'm so behind. I don't know. Like, I haven't seen the last 3 or 4 episodes. Because I just haven't been watching television, but I obviously.
It's about after the show.
I know exactly what's going on. Mary got clocked for everything she was saying about Jenny, but then Jenny got all her old shit surfaced. Also, Mary was on Twitter Spaces 2.5 to 3 days ago, late, for hours, 3 hours, talking with the girls. Oh my God, I feel like I should absolutely tell you who was running that Twitter space.
The space?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Because they actually deserve to be shouted out for that. I'll pull up their names while we're talking about it. But I thought it was a very interesting conversation. Mary certainly had a much more genuine tone. She claimed that editing was the reason that she had been presented the way that she was, which I think is true. I definitely believe that Bravo, made an effort to capitalize on the ways that Mary is a crazy person, and probably in a way that wasn't wholly representative of her. And I'm very grateful that she got a chance to share that, because honestly, hearing some of the things that they were saying, the girls will say, you didn't see, like, they edited some of it, but Funky Dine even said this, so I'm going to repeat it. Funky Dine even said it on what's her name's show, Claudia's show on Fox. So he said that the girls will always claim, it's editing, but they'll never tell you what got edited out. So it's like, girl, that's easy to say. Mary was like, yeah, so basically this is what happened, and you didn't see, but before this, and I was like, oh shit, okay. All right, Mary.
RuPaul literally has a song out on his like new project. Shout out to Mama Ru. It's called "Blame It on the Edit" because a lot of his queens say it's the edit that they gave me, and he's like, "Girl, you said you blame it on the edit." So yeah, a lot of girls.
And don't get me wrong, they can be real fucking grimy with some of these edits, because I think that Heather does get a generous edit. I also think that Heather plays the cards right. She's a charismatic person, so she knows how to appeal to people. And then Bravo knows that, so they're going to use the footage and, highlight her in an easy way. But I remember talking to Omar about the conversation Mary was having, and I said that they had done her dirty because apparently they told her not to apologize. And I feel like we need to say that on this platform, because the last conversation we had about her, and I was like, what about her apology? And she said she wanted to do an apology. Bravo told her not to. So then she made that apology, and I don't know what bullshit she was talking about behind that. Could Mary be lying? Do I trust everything Mary says? Absolutely not. Do I still think that she's a loose cannon? Yes. But it was really interesting to hear her, talk to the people about some of the representations there. I have slightly more respect for her. Yes, I do. I do. And Jenny, I wasn't necessarily defending her. I did think that Mary needed to chill out, calling her slant eyes. It's just not okay.
Yeah, that was good. It was just like, that was just blatant. But I guess, Jenny has her little experiences as well.
Oh, yeah. She's like
Jenny from the block.
Okay, so do you not recall that the video of her niece dropping her tea had, been posted, 3 months ago? Do you remember that? Did you see that?
Yeah.
So she's already hipped us to the fact that girl is trash. That Jenny's trash. Yeah. So the girls brought it back because of those posts of... And if y'all don't know, she was posting anti-Black Lives Matter stuff. So there were memes about... If you listen to what the
Blue Lives Matter
die, and just it was obviously and blatantly racist. And she hasn't said anything about it, has she?
No, I don't follow her, so I don't really care. But Jenny she was very much a lukewarm cast.
I think she did apologize. Actually, I think she did issue an apology, and it was the tone that Mary should have used when she had done her apology, or whatever it was that she was saying.
Yeah, because hers is in that little weird ass spot.
But I wasn't going to forgive her because, again, my point was when I was saying this about Mary is that if you issue the right apology, at the very least, you can move on. The girls don't have to take it, and they don't have to believe it. And most of the time, I won't. You done showed your cards already. But
you already showed your hand.
Yeah, Jenny's a racist. That's not a surprise. She's probably also a liar.
Yeah, she listen. Bravo loves him a problematic queen.
Yeah,
we got problematic queens. I think this season is definitely going to get a season 3 because of all the shit. We got a criminal. We got Jen, who's a criminal. We got Lisa, who's a liar. We got Jenny and Mary, who are racist. We have Heather, who is the queen of. They said she's the queen of Mormons. We have the dumb blonde Whitney, which also I'm just confused on why she took all her savings out to start, roles.
Who did?
And then
Whitney.
Mm-hmm. And then they allegedly, this is alleged because I do not have evidence or proof about this, that Meredith is a pill popper. Like I said, this is alleged.
Yeah, they say she slurs her. She does slur often. He is always kind of talking like this. So I wouldn't be surprised. I'm so sorry, y'all. I wish I could have. I remember Andre is the name of one of the people who hosted the. I just can't get their ats. The room, the Twitter space. It was good though.
Speaking of Andre Talley.
Oh,
passed away at 73.
Yeah, no, that was crazy. I was
Fashion.
found that out. Icons, darling. Yeah, 73.
I am an icon.
You know what makes me really sad about that is I watched his documentary. I loved it.
Yeah.
And he was a sad person, like lonely. Toward the end of his life, he was just very lonely. He was not very happy about that.
That's sad. That's really sad because I think that's a fear of mine is to die lonely. And I'm just like, that's why like relationships are so valuable to me is because, and I think something I need to get over is like, I have this fear of like leaving this earth, A, without like a legacy or like people to remember me by, or B, like me not having someone there with me in my final days. And I'm just like,
someone else just said that to me in the last week. I asked him, what do you want to do before you die? And yeah, it was the first thing he said. I want to have a legacy, and I used to feel that way, and now I don't care.
Period.
I don't. Oh my god, I don't like. I
understand, girl.
Y'all can take a bitch or you can leave a bitch. I was here. What Beyonce say?
I was here.
Yeah, no, because
I lived.
I think. I'm not sure what our values will be like, and I'm not sure that I care for unless my legacy were something that actually improved the like lives of millions of people. I mean, like the general wellness, their overall wellness. I don't care. Yeah. I just want to have fun while I'm here. I want to love a lot while I'm here. I do want to see Maldives. I want to see Maldives. I feel like that could be.
Who's that?
Nice. That was the sound. You want to know what the sound was? Oh, you said wow.
No, you said
Maldives.
You said I want to hear
the Maldives. It's an archipelago. What do you? It's an island. Sorry, I don't know why.
Okay, I said it's a drum. I was like, it's a drum. It's a. I'm like, bitch, I think it's a drum.
Of it so you can, because I need you to see it.
Okay.
Are you looking it up? Because if not, I'll share my screen real quick.
Yeah, you should share, girl. If you can, do you know how to do that?
One thing about me, baby,
you research.
Are you,
ladies and gentlemen, anybody in between? This is a first over here on that Black Boy joint. Oh. This is where Kim Kardashian
lost her earring.
Lost her earring.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is.
Kim, people are dying, and this is also probably where I think Tammy was about to beat up that girl. Just about to beat that girl. Girl, get this damn cyber shit off. Get that damn taking me into the intergalactic world.
I kind of loved that.
I did too.
But yeah, I really he was there. And I want to buy my mother a home. If I can buy her a home, then great. But other than that other shit, fuck that. Whatever. But I do hope y'all get y'all.
And I think that's yeah. You said I get y'all, but that's not me. Which is fine.
I've been there. No, I've absolutely been there. It was so important to me to make my life worth something. And then I was like, well, to whom does it need to be worth something? And I realized it needed to be worth something to me. And I felt like if I needed my legacy to be what made my life worth it, then for me, so I'm not saying this is how other people approach it, that meant that I needed it to be valued by other people. And not like just something that I can say, wow, I gave my all in as many ways as I could. And I loved people and I touched the hearts of many people or whatever. Yeah. And that's all I really give a fuck about, to be honest.
Please, my bad. Period. Girl, it's a long day. Period.
No,
I get that. I think. Period. Yeah, I think Andre left a great legacy also for queer men to be in the fashion world. Mm-hmm. He was in that space way before like we were accepted, right? And it was just amazing because he was like there with Anna Wintour. He was there like the white people was just obsessed with his like passion and his just his image and all of those things. So I was really glad that we were able to see us in that space, and I think that him being in space has given so many other men to be able to be honest and love fashion. Because fashion it's that girl, honey. So shout out to Andre. You will be missed, but you are deeply loved here.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, now let's go back a little bit. Let's go back a little bit to the housewives. Portia.
Lord Jesus.
Her image, y'all, is.
Have you watched her show?
I have not, but I've seen this. I watched the first 2 episodes, and I honestly I did not care about Portia's life.
Yeah.
I did not.
I don't either.
I did not care about Portia's life. Her
It's not
with
interesting to me.
Simone. That episode that aired last week was I don't know why. I mean, it was very traumatic. Like, it was a lot of things happening.
What happened?
That episode.
Tell me what happened.
Basically, so Dennis came on this family trip with Portia. Of course, they still have some type of feelings, or I think they still have some history, right? And Portia just can't let go of things. And I guess Dennis was disrespecting somebody, and Portia wanted him to go, and told him and his mom they need to leave, and they're leaving, but Portia, I guess they weren't leaving fast enough. So Portia was like, "Get the F out of here," and she started throwing stuff at them, and then Portia's mom starts to grab on Dennis, and then she falls, and then somebody is like, he put his hands on her, and then Portia started to flip and started to try to punch him. This is while Simon is right there trying to break it up.
What's he doing?
Simon is holding back Portia. He's just holding Portia. He's not trying to. It just was a lot of commotion that was happening, and it just was a lot that was happening. When I say the episode, it was just so many things. I watched it multiple times and slowed it down to see what happened, who threw this, who did that, and it just was a lot of things. When there's you remember when on Potomac when I think Giselle touched Monique or something, and Candace already was ready to be beat up, and Monique just took it. That's how it felt. There was just so many things happening, and we just see Portia mom on the floor, and then Portia mad is "Mama, you hit my mom," and I'm just
Not Miss Diane.
Yeah, Diane was
child.
Miss Diane. She was grabbing Dennis, and I don't know if he just was trying to pick her up off the ground because he didn't even know she was grabbing on him, and then someone was somebody said he hit her, and then chaos broke out because it was a lot.
I'm so sure he didn't put his hands on that.
I don't think he ever put his hands on anybody, but I know he did charge at Portia. He did charge at Portia. It was you wanted me here. You told, I didn't have to be here and all that stuff. And
yeah,
she's you need to leave. You need to leave.
Would you like to know my opinion about this?
Let's get into it. Let's get comfortable.
I feel I haven't really gotten. I feel I mentioned something about we probably talked about Simon and Portia at the beginning, and I mentioned something about it made me feel weird. Well, I noticed that after that, I had very severely changed the way that I felt about Portia, who was really much in line. Claudia said this on her show too, and she was absolutely right. Portia was completely and perfectly set up to be the queen bee, the proverbial queen bee of the Real Housewives of Atlanta. They had put her in perfect center stage to really be, highest paid, or at least almost highest paid, and center of attention for the show. And she didn't play her cards right. She played them foul. Whatever she's been doing and however she's been moving has been probably really slimy. And it's funny that it's coming out on TV. Because her cousin mentioned that she had asked her to be on the show, but that she hadn't spoken to her and didn't reach out to her when her mom passed. And so obviously, in an effort to get this check, she brought these people together, so that she could give them drama and all this. But her intentions weren't they weren't aligned. They weren't right. And now you over here blowing up a whole fan base of people who really enjoyed you because you're showing your ass. And you should have stayed in that ensemble where it didn't all rely on your ability to have something substantial to offer the people. Because you can't. And you don't have that. You simply don't have... Portia doesn't have that it factor that makes it... And I don't even want to call it an it factor. She doesn't have that charisma that she could carry an entire show on her own. And people would be like, ooh, this is somebody enjoyable. I could kick it with this girl. She had contrived a lot of what she gave us over the time that she was on the show. I mean, look at who she was when the show first started. And then it was like,
she was a whole...
And it was like, no, Portia didn't change. Portia won't who she was, who she said she was when she started on that show. And that's fine.
Yeah.
You know, she had gotten a little more natural into who she was as she had gotten divorced. And she was at least fun. But that's because we were getting the fun side of Portia. But when shit popped off, she couldn't handle herself. She's childish.
She definitely acts out of emotion. Like the episode, like when she dragged Kenya, I was like, oh.
I mean, and we could all agree
it was deserved.
We were like, Kenya, what? I mean, like you literally put a bull in this girl's face. Why wouldn't she? Most of us were like, who would not react angrily? Like
that.
People may not be able to sit here and tell you right now to punch her in her face or whatever, but they probably would be like, yeah, I would have been pissed. I don't know how I would have reacted.
And then also the interaction with Cynthia that she had, that was like a mistake.
That was a complete misunderstanding for both. And they were, because Cynthia admitted that she had carried in some energy that didn't need to be directed toward Portia.
She was guarded. She was guarded after that. And then like ever since then, like
Portia, her fighting her friend, like there's so many instances now that are working against Portia. It's like clear that this was a pattern. We thought part of what was making that, what was setting Portia up was that we were like, wow, look at all of this growth. Look at this character arc for Portia. She was young. She was doing stupid shit. She didn't know any better, but she, sought help and she's better. And that's just simply not the case.
Yeah, she's 40 now.
You're 40.
My girl, you got to do better.
So how long are you going to be doing this?
How long are you going to be doing this, Mama? Miss Mamas. So... her season finale is coming up, so check that out if you want to, but I'm not. And moving on, Big Brother.
That'll be a series, by the way. That will be a series.
Is it what?
She won't be returning. I don't know.
She won't be returning to Port. Oh, she won't be returning. I forgot. She won't be returning. Cynthia won't be returning.
What did Nene call her last show? A commercial when she was pregnant.
There was a commercial. I didn't even know she even had a show.
When she was pregnant?
That was the thing. Yeah, I didn't know she had a show.
I didn't watch that either. I don't care about what is going on in Portia's life. I just don't. I never did.
Yeah.
That was always the least interesting. Whatever was happening in her personal life outside of Dennis dragging her through the mud was so uninteresting.
I just loved her commentary on things. Like I just liked her commentary on other people's.
She's one of those people who is great in an ensemble cast. Candy's shows were mostly entertaining because her family's actually funny. Like the shit that they would say with each other is actually hilarious. Well,
because Candy's not funny. It's the ensemble that was funny. Candy is never funny.
Who either were used to being in the front of the camera. Her whole family had confessionals by the point that her show came up. I mean, we were looking at Mama Joyce at the reunions. Miss Diane ain't never been at the reunion ever.
Yeah. Miss Diane was at a reunion.
Which one?
Oh, not Portia's. I'm sorry. Sorry.
No.
I'm thinking about Candace's mom. I don't know why. I'm thinking about Candace's
mom.
Platonic. Brain fart.
But, there's some people who are like, they can be on this camera right now. Like they're ready for this like spotlight. And I just don't think that, anyone besides maybe like Dennis and Lauren were ready for that. I love Lauren. I can't say anything bad about that girl.
Yeah, Lauren tries to keep everything together. She does. But we'll see. But moving on to Big Brother, my favorite show. Big Brother's celebrity cast is being rumored. So the episode is going to be airing February 2nd. I'm so sorry. And I'm super excited. Huh?
How does that work?
Yes, it's live. It's live. Yep, it's on TV. And I'm going to a watch party, so I'm super excited with some cast members that were on Big Brother 23.
Nice.
23. So I'm excited about that. But we have some rumored people that we've been hearing is going to be on the season. And first up, we have Miss Tiffany Pollard, aka New York, is a rumored cast member, but she's actually also been a part of Celebrity Big Brother, the UK version.
Which is why this is...
And she was iconic.
Yeah.
When I say she was iconic, She was like she was great.
I had never watched Big Brother. I knew what it was, but I never sat down to watch it. When
She was
I was
qualified.
shit weekly, and I got to see how she was acting week by week in real time, and I was screaming. No, I would literally log on to watch that shit online. I would be like streaming it, and I was just like, "You put this bitch in a room with anybody." And she,
people from another country, from the UK, and she was going like
she ain't know these.
She was going in.
She ain't know half.
She didn't know these people, but they didn't know her, and they did not know her.
Yeah, sure didn't.
And she gave us, and then
David. She just told me David's dead. I can't give it to myself. Why would she do that, man? And you know what? Every time,
"What's your fucking shoes?"
I think to myself, Angie really did not know who she was dealing with, because why would she know that she was talking about David Bowie? Why? Because I surely didn't know she was talking about him.
I didn't know she was talking about David Bowie.
I am not afraid to tell y'all that I didn't know who David Bowie was before I watched that show. I'm not afraid to tell you that.
Oh my God. Electric chair!
I just did not know.
No.
And I know because I watched it.
Tiffany Pollard.
And Tiffany.
So
she. Tiffany, I was like, well, how the fuck was she supposed to know that? You're not even
supposed to know it was David Bowie.
Wow. That gave us such a moment. And then Gemma.
I need to go back and watch her moments. Gemma's an icon. And she was like, "Gemma, these fucking shoes, these shoes are, you
want your shoes back? I'm going to give them to you.
Oh, I'll get your fucking shoes.
There's stones that are missing around those shoes. I don't need your shoes. Bitch, you pick everything, knock them, stop. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God.
I swear to God, when we get done rapping, I'm literally going to watch the compilations of her in Big Brother UK. But also, Nene is a rumored cast member, which I think it'd be interesting having that dynamic if Tiffany and Nene are together.
Yeah. I don't even know how.
That's a house. That is a.
I usually can be like, oh, I imagine it would go this way. I literally have no idea. I could not make a single guess or fucking like foresight for how that would go. They are either going to love each other or they're going to hate each other.
Or they're going to give us some TV, bitch. They're going to give us some TV.
Can't put a finger on it.
And last season of Big Brother Celebrity Big Brother, we had Candy and we had Tamar. And Tamar actually won, and she was the first person of color to actually win Big Brother. But they qualify her as the first celebrity Big Brother and not like the original franchise. But yeah, so last season we had, Tamar was great. Tamar was great television.
Played her cards very well. She was very much herself, and it was very funny. It was very funny. The shit.
Yeah, but
Lo got arguing like fucking. They were arguing like siblings, like little ass kids. And I was like, well, that girl is childish. The Lo girl, she just seemed like, I don't know. I felt like when she was arguing with Tamar, it was literally like a child. Like, she's going, Tay!
It was a child. It was a child.
You're not grown.
And the thing about it is, like, I don't even remember Candy being a part of the show. I just knew her name was a part, but I don't remember any memorable moment.
It was boring.
We also have Neo as...
You ain't do nothing.
We also have Neo as a rumored cast member, too. As a rumored cast member.
No, why are you saying the one I'm about to say the one you know you want to... the one you care about.
Bitch, fuck you. He also was just on The Masked Singer and actually did really well on The Masked Singer.
Oh, really? Did he get...
He also has an album coming out. Did you say did he get out?
No, yeah, did he win? And
I don't think he won the whole thing, but I think he made it to like the top 3.
Nice.
I don't watch The Masked Singer because I literally the show is confusing to me. The how they like judge, but I don't think he won it. But I know he was like made it very far allegedly. But he's a rumored cast member, but he also it would make sense if he was a part because he is friends with a lot of the cast members from Big Brother 23. Like after that aired, a lot of people stayed at his house for like a month after they left the live. Like they left the house of BB 23, and a lot of them stayed with him. Like,
Why?
a lot of them. They just didn't want to leave LA. They didn't want to leave LA. They also probably wanted to just connect with each other because they didn't want to probably go back to their respective hometowns. So he like offered up his like mansion, and like I want to say like six or seven of them literally stayed at his hotel. I mean, stayed at his mansion. Your face. And it was predominantly a black cast.
I don't doubt that. I just why?
He's like a big fan of Big Brother, and I guess like he reached out and was like, "Hey,
weird, yo, that shit is so interesting."
Yeah,
I wonder if
he's like, "I'm a big fan of y'all." They was in there making videos, TikTok, finger popping each other's assholes. No, no, it was like they were like at his house for like a month or.
You don't think that's strange as hell?
When I say that was there for a month.
A month? Like, no, there's no way.
I want to say no, I swear to God. Like, I swear to God, 'cause you know I was a Big Brother fan. I think they were there for like a month or two. Because people were like coming in and out. People were like leaving and they would come in. Because he also. So Neil also was a guest, a rumor cast member. So we're excited.
Do you believe this guest list, like, or this cast list? Do you believe that?
With Big Brother, I do not know if they were able to get all these motherfucking people, because you know they really do want a diverse. Like Big Brother is wanting a diverse cast.
More interesting.
If they were able to get these, it is. If they were able to get these heavy hitters, it'll be iconic. It'll be iconic. I do believe. I am very unlikely that Tiffany was offered another chance, but she was so memorable. Like, who wouldn't give her that US opportunity? I don't know about Nene, because Nene literally just got over Greg.
Exactly. The timing doesn't sound right to me.
The timing doesn't sound right.
But I mean, Nene's moving on with a lot of things, so I mean, I won't put it past her. I mean, that's not an insult. I don't mean that as an insult.
Yeah.
And honestly, like, the reason why I don't believe the cast list is because then they started tweeting about Erica Jane being invited on there. Then
I seen Erica Jane.
The page that tweeted this had tweeted that they invited Caitlyn Jenner as well. And so and
she also was a part of a Big Brother type of thing as well.
I remember. So I was just kind of like, I don't know. I think people just are excited because they would love to see Nene and Tiffany in a household, and I would too. So it wasn't like I was like downing it. I just don't think it's true. We'll see. Once the cast list is up, or don't they do a premiere like they do a
They do a announcement the day like not announcement the day of, but like probably the week before or like a couple of days before the air. They give you that. So like the show airs on the fucking second. So and they're not in the house as long as the original cast members are, because of course these are celebrities. But I think they're only in the house for like a month. Whereas the other cast members, the original series, they're there for 3 months. So it's going to be very interesting to see what they do with the show. Let's get into some meat and potatoes. This is a random meat and potatoes that I have, but I just want to check in with you about this. How do you feel? Do you close friends? How do you feel about close friends, right? I've been talking about this a lot on my social media. Like, do you have a close friends?
Close friends as in like
Instagram, bitch.
Oh, Instagram, a group of people on there?
Yeah.
I got one. I got a list.
What are you posting?
Depending on what I post.
Period. So mine changes often as well. Like, I'll be taking bitches in and out of my close friends. Like,
I don't need this person seeing this. You're coming off of it, and then when I'm ready for you to see something, I'll put you back on.
You could come back into it. Why do you do that?
Because
they're your close friends. They are your close friend.
Sometimes I am putting up memes about sex, and that is for the gays, because I want to be nasty with the gays. And I might leave the girls on there because, you know, my friends know about my sex life. So if I don't mind them seeing it, cool. But why do they need to be looking at, if I am saying, oh, hey, I accept nudes, so if you want to send them, then I'm going to put that on the close friends, and I'm taking the girls off because I don't need to see their titties. I'm not asking for that. But if I would like to, have the girls share their stories of some of like the sexual escapades they've had. And I'm like, I want stories from everybody. I'm gonna leave that on my general close friends with the girls and the gays and anybody else.
Okay.
Questions,
okay.
You know what I mean? But I don't do that shit on my overall story. Not often. I just don't want to.
Yeah.
My mama on there. The fuck?
Yeah. No, I get that. I literally had to unfollow my mom. Like, she could not watch my story.
What you have to do?
Like, she had to get unfollowed because, like, and I wasn't posting anything nasty. I literally not nasty. Like, I literally just started to like be a little like have little conversations or like just be very candid in my close friends because I feel like I was using my close friends really wrong.
Like what?
I wasn't really like.
How were you using it?
I wasn't girl. I was just posting me like making food. Girl, I was literally just making pasta and shit in my close friends, and I was like, I think I need to be doing more.
You think I need to be like, want to do.
I just need to. I feel like for me, I think I need to put some like I want to put bullshit in mine now, and I am. So if you do not see yourself in a close friends, and you wasn't in close friends, I am sorry.
It's because
you are going to miss out on an amazing show, huh? What did you say, bitch? You said put my hole out there?
That's because he up there showing hole.
Okay, I'm not showing mine.
You can't do that on Instagram no matter what. You cannot for nudes.
You better go to Bigo. You better go to Twitter.
Catch that shit down so quick. I think I had taken a picture from like Tumblr. Cause you know sometimes like you post things on your story for aesthetic. It's like, oh, this is like what I'm enjoying right now. And on my close story, they were just nude, like it was just like nude models or whatever. So it wasn't like I wasn't putting porn up there. But man, they had flagged that shit so quick and snatched it down. And I was like, oh, no, I can't put this on my close friends. But it's it's a Facebook owned app. It's not fucking Snapchat. Snapchat,
the meta, honey,
a lawless land. You can put whatever you want to put up. I feel like people were posting.
You said on Snapchat?
Yeah. You said,
oh yeah, Snapchat was that. I said, people, that's Snapchat. Snapchat was that.
Do you know how many people still use that app? I think Twitter had gotten the girls to thinking that no one was using Snapchat, but considering it is the only app where you can actually post nudity regularly like that, people are absolutely still that. This is a cyber sex phase, honey. The girls, if the girls are not posting porn, they're posting themselves in their little lingerie, child. You remember lest we not forget the red light challenge. Why do I keep spinning? Oh my god. I'm so
lest we not forget, girl.
But lest we not forget the red light challenge. The girls are absolutely getting your webs, okay?
Yeah.
So Snapchat people are really letting themselves loose. I'm just saying.
I listen, I understand it, but I think like Snapchat is not that place anymore for me now. It is literally my close friends. I don't use Snapchat anymore. Like Snapchat has like died to me. Like I literally only use Twitter and Instagram. I remember they got rid of Spaces and added back Spaces. It was like we gonna actually
they get rid of it.
Yes, they got rid of Spaces, and I'm so mad that they got rid of Fleets. Like. Fleets was that thing for a little bit.
Oh, right. You could. Now, Twitter is also a lawless land. You for nude.
People was posting when they found out that shit was
a night to remember.
I was like,
I loved it. It was great.
I was like this. I was like, would you? Never know. I'm gonna ask that. Let me not.
What were you gonna ask me, honey? What was that?
Have you ever posted like revenge porn?
No. I would never.
Or a victim of it? Or a victim of it?
So if I scroll down my timeline one day and I see my ass posted by somebody else, I'm calling the police. I'm immediately pressing charges.
Oh my god, really?
Yeah, you don't get to post anything that I have like if it's mine, it's mine. There is a law that like if people share photos of their bodies with you, that does not mean that you get to share those photos with other people. That it was there for you to see.
Yeah.
So Yeah, no, absolutely not.
Yeah, no.
I've not been revenge porn, and if I have not given someone consent to post my shit and it's posted, I'm going. There's going to be an issue,
right? Do you think that Do you think that you can post like a tasteful nude or send a partner
very tasteful nudes? All that now, not all of my nudes are tasteful, but.
Face down.
Most of the ones that I've taken, I'd be like, okay, after I've taken the nude, I'm like, now what happens if my mama sees this? And I'm gonna be like, she's gonna be like, that's a bad bitch. Because look at her.
Period.
And it's not like
your mama gonna say that.
You know what I mean? Now the ones that are not like, okay, cool, they about to be they delete. They've been taken, I've admired them. The person I needed to see saw it, and now I'm going to delete because
you gotta
I don't want my mother to do that.
Oh my god, I get that. So I have always been insecure about. I've been a victim of revenge porn or revenge whatever. Huh?
You didn't sue?
No, I didn't know. I didn't know I could do that.
Yeah, look up laws about that.
I did not know I could do that. Actually, I was just like, oh no. It was like an ex of mine. It was in college. I wasn't upset because, but I think I was just thrown off just by like, I just was thrown off because like, Vari called me. It was like, I think this is you, Devery. And I was like, what? She was like, I think this is you. And she sent me, and I was like, girl, that is me. I know what I look like. Yeah. And I reached out to the guy. Huh?
Was your face in it?
I think it was the neck down. Like I was like on my laptop and on FaceTime, and I was like texting or something. So like I was sitting there like, what's popping? And I guess the person took a picture without me knowing. And I guess I wasn't responding to messages or something at the time, and they said, I know this was going to get your attention. And that was the caption it was on Tumblr. And I was like, I know this is going to get your attention. And I was just like,
and it was your nude body?
Yeah. It was me. It was literally me like laying down texting on the bed. And
it was your ass.
Like, on FaceTime with the person. No, it was my front. It was my front. I was just like laying down like texting.
I just don't get why anyone thinks that they have a right to post someone else's nude stuff.
It was high school.
It was not content that was literally created for the sharing, and you know the difference. Like you know the difference. Why do you feel like that's something you have the right to do? I don't understand why people don't have those boundaries.
I think people act out of emotion, girl. Like I literally think people just be acting out of emotion.
Acting out of emotion is the kind of stuff that gets people dragged from their hair onto the stage. And get people shot up because I'm here to tell y'all. I don't know. Let me.
Let's get comfortable.
Type of shit that be pissing me off. So I realized I think that I have a high tolerance for bullshit, and I really could lower. I mean, I could really lower that tolerance. I could be a lot more responsive or reactive than I am. But the thing that I like to think about is, am I prepared for the consequences of this decision? So yeah, I'm mad at you. I'm gonna post this naked ass picture of you. What are you gonna do? I don't know. Call the police? Sue me? I don't know. Am I gonna have? If the answer to what could happen after I respond to this emotionally is I could end up in a fucking jail cell, I'm not doing that. Why? I don't think because you mad.
Girl, I don't think people think like that. I think they're impulsively. Bitch, you don't think about if you go. You think about in that moment, girl. No. Bitches don't be thinking about like, oh, I'm not that person. They're like, yeah, I'm not the same thing either. I'm like, girl, this is a long term shit. Like, y'all over here posting this? No, like, y'all. I ain't never been that mad. I got multiple pictures, and I'm like, girl, I think that's one of people's close friends because I've been a bitch that ain't never told nobody's business. Listen, I said, as long as it does not affect me, bitch, do what you want to do. If you want to eat mud, if you want to, have a golden shower, do you. As long as I'm not affected, as long as you don't see my face next to you off guard while you over there doing your little in the bathroom stall, I'm fine.
Girl, you know what? I do know if I were you and I had seen myself on the timeline like that,
Yeah.
oh my God, it just sent chills up my spine. I'm making phone calls. Now that's the emotional response you're gonna get.
Really? I think I didn't. Yeah.
But I'm also gonna call the law, or at least I'm gonna let you know.
Oh, I dragged him. I dragged the shit out of him because he wanted for the drama. But I was young and I was like, oh, this happens all the time. Like you know, blase. But yeah, so
y'all better than me. Because if because I don't know, I feel like once you do some shit like that, like me cussing you out, probably not gonna do what it needs to be.
Yeah.
Like if the law gets involved, and I don't even like the law, but I feel like I'm not gonna get the justice that I need simply by cussing you out. And I'm not gonna want to fight you because at some point, if I fight you, I have to stop. And when do you think it is?
When do you stop?
When you fight a person, at what point are you like, now you've learned? Because I feel like that's how people be getting beat to a pulp.
I don't know. When I fight people, that's why like I can never get into a space where I get into a physical altercation. I will black out. I'm going to black out. Like I don't understand why y'all be thinking this. When people used to shadow box, I used to be like, girl, I'm not shadow boxing, bitch. I am fighting for my life. I'm not about to play fight. Like I don't understand why you only fight when you need to fight.
That's why I don't know why people do it. Like because that's why people be like, oh, that's enough. And I'd be like, wait, how are they supposed to know that? Y'all be fighting in the streets and niggas be like crazy. They be like, you're not gonna learn the lesson until you can't open your eyes no more. And I'm like, is this attempted murder?
It's attempted murder. I think that's okay. So what is it when you go to when like people get like assault charges?
Yeah,
how does that work? Is that just because you usually got in a fight?
There's like aggravated assault. I think which one is aggravated assault?
Because if that's the case, girl, they need to be right. They need to be
aggravated assault. Is an assault committed with a dangerous weapon. Yeah. So it's usually a felony punishable by approximately 1 to 20 years in prison, depending on the specific provisions of each state's sentencing or statute. What is aggravated assault? Okay. The FBI's Uniform Crime Reporting Program defines aggravated assault as an unlawful attack by one person upon another for the purpose of inflicting severe or aggravated bodily injury. I always thought the aggravation was related to how the person's temperament was. But it is apparently an extensive injury. So yeah, y'all about to get aggravated assault charges because you wanted to fight somebody because, again, when are you supposed to stop? Like, what?
When are you gonna stop? Because I don't get that. That's why I'm like, y'all never gonna catch me fighting a bitch, especially not in public. Because you bitches, I'm calling the police in a heartbeat. Fuck that, I'm fucking your life up.
And I mean, yeah, you know, it's ACAB, whatever, like, cool. But like, at some point, the responsible thing for me to do to get this situation resolved without me getting put in prison, because the law does exist, is for me to simply call the law. I don't know what to tell y'all. I don't know. Unless you got some community leader who can sit y'all asses down and settle it between the two. I mean, do you? Is there a fucking patriarch or matriarch who can say, all right, y'all, come here, we're going to settle this? If not, y'all asses...
Now we gotta bring out.
So, help your husband. What Karen say? That's so. Gotta help your husband.
You gotta help your husband. Okay, I have a question about clink clink. I have a question. Okay, so this says dilemma. This is not a dilemma. Not a dilemma at all. Story time, right? Not for me. Anonymous. Let me know that. So I have a friend who was talking to a guy, and the guy is like not a nice guy, right? They're a trash person to the friend, right? However, they interact with you and are not that, right?
So you're an asshole, but like you're not an asshole to that person's friends?
But yes, but do you? Okay, what if the person starts to flirt with you? This is, and I'm being dead ass honest. This is not me. This is like an actual scenario that I've like heard of happening. What do you do? Who do you beat up? No, just playing. Who do you connect with? Who do you beat up? Do you beat up why are you beating up your friend? Why are you? Yes, for you, the person that finds out that the guy that you told your friend is a trash ass nigga is like now kick in with that person. What do you do in that moment?
What did the friend do when the guy started flirting with him?
This is a hypothetical thing, bitch. You making me think now.
Well, no, because all of those things matter.
Yeah, I'm like,
this is why I need all the information before I can react, before I can.
yeah.
Because
Listen, bitch, I'm a bro code type of nigga. I'm a bro code type of nigga. If you tell, but this is my thing, right? If you don't like somebody, Derwin, and you tell me, hey, bro, I don't like this person, I'm not going to even get to know you. Like, you can ask my friends. I had a friend before. I was like, my friend don't like you, I don't like you. And they like, I'm a nice person, bitch. I don't care if you was motherfucking Jesus. If my friend does not rock with you, I'm not going to rock with you. However, I've noticed in other type of spaces, people do not follow that bro code or that friend code. Like, it's like, well,
we adults,
they're nice to me.
And sometimes
Right.
it ends up being like, okay, so y'all don't like each other over either you're not each other's type of people, or it was something that was so petty that it has no business in our adult lives, like shaping our relationships. Now, of course, there are limitations to this, but now that we're adults, we have to work for a living, and networking is super important for that. So sometimes it's a matter of you don't like that person, but they didn't disrespect you in a way that like would make them untrustworthy overall. And it could be useful for me to have a business relationship with that person, how on any level, and I need to keep that tie going. We're adults, so these things get more complicated.
So, bitch. So if I'm fucking with a nigga, right, and we end off bad, I don't know, he lied to me, we just not cool no more, and I've been to you like, friend, all like this nigga, and then some seconds later, I see y'all keep cackling or like a message on Instagram or bitch y'all out in public.
See, that's a little different because if I didn't know this person beforehand, and because usually that's the issue with me is that there was an existing relationship there. I don't have a reason to be in contact with any of your niggas. You know what I mean?
Period.
No.
Period. Yes.
Could have been a complication here where you and this person are together for a minute. You're like, hey, do business with them. The business is lucrative. Yeah. And then he starts fucking with you. You see what I mean? Now we done gotten to a point where so in that instance where you're talking about, yeah, I don't have any fucking reason to be in anything or have anything with this man. He can get on.
Yeah.
But
okay.
Depending on whether he was doing right at some point and how, but this is why people don't do business with their friends, significant others, and shit like that in the first place. Because I
would never do that shit.
I don't know that I would.
I would.
Hypotheticals where it could work.
Yeah, this is ladies and gentlemen, to anybody in between. This is a hypothetical thing. I know this scenario has happened to multiple people. I just wanted to see people's response because this actually true story did happen to me in the past. Like, and I wasn't me. I was the friend that was like, "Girl, I don't, bitch, you not my friend. Like you, my friend don't like you. I don't like you." And they had an issue with that. They literally had an issue.
I had somebody who dated an acquaintance of mine had messaged me on an app, and I was like, "You got to be out of your motherfucking mind,
bitch!" Right?
I'm going to entertain a conversation with you.
How do you respond to that? Because I've had that happen.
I literally recently. You've got to be out of your motherfucking mind if you think that I'm going to entertain anything with you. Not only because you dated an acquaintance of mine, but because
what if they was cute though? What if he was like? What if they was cute though?
No.
What if they was like really nice to you in a message? What if they was like being really sweet to you?
The only way that I could see that working out, right, were if in some super organic situation we had ended up in a shared space repeatedly, and it was like, oh wow, look, this chemistry we have is undeniable. I would be doing myself a disservice by denying how I feel about you, and I honestly don't see that happening. So that's the only
right.
I don't believe in foregoing your own your own genuine happiness because of a complication like that. I think that in cases like that, transparency is the most important thing. And if it's a friend, well, if it's a friend, hopefully that's not a situation I would. But if it's an acquaintance, and I'm like, I don't know how this means to you. I didn't mean to fall in love with this person, but like, I don't know, we're fucking in this class together all the time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's
because it's like it's so freaking. Because I also seen this happen on what is that show called? Like it was a Houston show. Like I think they like all these people like moved to Houston on Instagram. I mean, it was like next some shit literally like these 20-something-year-olds moved to Houston and they're trying to start their lives. There's like 8 of them, right? And like the first week,
that's the one I said, Austin, wasn't it?
Austin, yeah, it's like Austin, like moving to Austin or like move Austin, whatever the fuck that shit is called.
Hold on,
I did too.
What was it called? 20-somethings.
20-somethings, yeah, 20-somethings Austin. I submitted for it as well, but also I was like, girl, you're not going to move to Austin right now. Like,
I was going to do it. I mean, I moved here.
Yeah, period. So the guy in the show, because this is who the story is based on, basically. The guy in the show started to date, like he was hooking up with one of the girls, right? And then they was like friends with benefits, but like it was really like a wonky type of relationship. And then the white girl was like, the girl was like, okay, I think we need to stop doing this because I'm catching feelings. And he's like, bitch, I thought we already discussed this was no feelings type of shit. And they're like, cool, it's platonic. And then the next thing we know, he's starting to talk to another one of the girls that's one of her roommates. And I'm just like, you see them, you hear them fucking, you see them like dating now. Like, who are you mad at, right? Who are you, like, I'm like, were y'all really close friends? I got just roommates. Like, how do you respond to that? That is very, like, that's close.
I don't know. I would be mad, but like, they don't know each other because it's been like, what, weeks at that point?
That is true. That is true. I seen it and I was like,
so angry about it. But that'd be my point right there. Like, okay, as a person, if this were happening to me, I recognize where there are limitations. Like, okay, a lot of this is gonna be my pride. Like, my ego is hurt. And the good thing about that is at some point I'm gonna get the fuck over it. But we're gonna have a conversation about it. Something that happened to me where I was in a situation where I was like, okay, my pride is what is important here. Is I had a friend who ended up talking to a guy that I almost talked to. We had been messaging. I had interest, and I think ultimately he just wasn't interested in me, which is fine. But then he started pursuing my friend, and I was like, well, that's weird. And I was like, okay, well, I just need to get over it. But I realized by not acknowledging my feelings, I was doing myself a disservice. So I talked to another friend about it to ask for advice, and he was like, we're adults. You need to talk to about it. So I did. And I was like, obviously there's nothing I can do about it. Like, if you like him, then I am not at all asking you to stop seeing him. What I am doing is communicating that it had made me feel a way, and I don't want that way to get in the way of this friendship. Because I can't help how I feel. I cannot help how my emotions respond or arise based on what happens to me, right? But I can control how I respond to those. And what I'm not going to do is let that feeling cause any sort of resentment or any sort of a rift between you and I. So I communicated to him. And turned out he didn't really care for the guy that much anyway, so they had that thing.
Oh, okay, great.
And I was like, okay, that's up to you. I'm not asking you to do that. You certainly don't have to, because I'm going to get over it regardless.
Yeah.
So I like to handle situations like that with complete and utter transparency, because once you're in something like that, what you have to acknowledge what is important to you. What is most important to me as I navigate this? If it's my friendship, let me honor that first, not by making a decision, having a conversation. And now, based on the conversation, I will make a decision.
Yeah, I think that I think that's a valid thing, because I've had that happen in so many spaces. Like, a lot of friendships I've cut off. Also, me personally, because like a partner like did something wrong to, or a friend did something to a friend, right? Like, my loyalty is to this friend more than you. Because of, in that space, that happened a lot to me in college, and it kind of was like this thing that I kept being in these spaces of like having to choose, sides. And it's also kind of weird too, right? When you have like a person, for example, like with partners, like I've had that happen with people's partners, like I can't get too close to you because like, what if y'all don't work out, right? Like, I don't want to see you as an amazing person, and why do I need to be close to you? Why do I need to check? Like, I literally had like my old roommate, like all his exes were trying to be friends with me, or like one of them got to like FaceTime and like was trying to hit me up on Instagram, and I was like, girl, we don't. They were like, why didn't you tell me about Whoopty Whoop's business? I was like, girl, because
That's not good. Ain't have nothing to do with me. And don't come over here with that bullshit.
don't come up with this hoopla. So interesting. But lastly, before we wrap this up, I want to talk about boundaries, because I think this like correlates into this whole conversation, is creating healthy boundaries in platonic relationships and intimate relationships. Because I think that is a problem that like a lot of people like have, specifically me, is like how to create these healthy boundaries. And if you have any suggestions or input on this too, how do you create these healthy boundaries where you are knowing your limit and your worth of letting this person engage with you in a manner that you want it to be? Because I think I deal with that, girl.
Well, this was really the theme of the end of the year for me last year. Like that was one of the last lessons I had to learn was how to create and then honor boundaries. And it's really important work to actually do. And I have found that the way to do it is to capitalize on the moments when you're most afraid to. So when you feel like I have to make a boundary here and you're most afraid, the work is literally do it anyway. And really go through the discomfort of doing it. I am historically a people pleaser. And so establishing those kind of boundaries scares the fuck out of me. And then I was like, look, at this point in your life, you realize all the ways that not building boundaries has caused you your own pain and suffering that you had to deal with on your own. And so if you don't want to do that again, if you don't want to go through this period where you've got a buildup of anxiety, turmoil, sadness, and self-loathing because you couldn't protect yourself from people's bullshit, then protect yourself from people's bullshit. And don't apologize for it. Stand in it. Stand in however rude it feels. When you know that what is happening is you're avoiding your own self-inflicted damage, you realize this is something that healthy people do so that they can still be the loving and kind and funny and, generous people that they are. But it is difficult to do that when you're carrying around resentment from people who didn't have the courtesy to establish their own boundaries for you. And then also you didn't have the self-protection or self-love, or I don't know really what it is, or efficacy to establish them on your own. So it's always conversations.
Yeah, I agree with that, because that goes back to the first part of what we opened up the show with was, I think I have a hard time with platonic and romantic relationships creating a real healthy boundary where I feel like I am being respected in that space. Because oftentimes I was always like creating a boundary, like, well, is this boundary good enough for this person, right? And I'm like, the boundary shouldn't be about them. The boundary should be about you. You shouldn't be trying to make sure this boundary is okay for them. And I think that is something I'm trying to like work on in this new year. Because like I said, multiple niggas giving them this boundary, didn't give them a boundary because like I was letting them text me and I was texting them, and it's just like feeling like I was giving them access to me when I really felt like it was not needed, but yet still was allowing the conversations or the space to be held. And I think that's something like even in my my platonic relationships is like when our friends no longer a friend, and I think that's always something for me is like there are people I've had to excommunicate, but like not bring them back in a year or two later, or a month later, allowing that friendship to be at where it was and okay with that. But I think I'm always like, I have like a revolving door and I want to literally stop that bitch from revolving. And I'm always like, trying to learn. I think I also have attachment issues. That's something we can talk about.
That can be a lot of what the root is. We're accustomed to placating people and not holding them accountable because we're afraid that if we do, they won't stay around. But where we forget and where the disconnect is like we deserve love that feels good, and we don't want to have people around us if they don't make us feel good, or if we can't create the conditions where we feel good. And those conditions come with no's, like that, like, hey, I don't want you to do this.
That is so scary.
We
talked about that before, the power of no in the episode.
Which one? What did we say?
We talked about the power of no. It's like the power that it has. but also the fear that comes with when you tell people no, you know, right? In sex, in relationships, at work, like.
And oh my God, that's another piece of advice. Those don't discount the little opportunities to say no. I did find that the more I did it in little ways, the more I was prepared to do those big ways. The big ways actually carried the weight where I was like, oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Duran, I think his name is Duran Hall. Really wise individual that I have a lot of respect for. I'm going to find you a quote that he would give us all the time at Dragon Slayers. Yes. And he posted it on Instagram and I was like, I love this. Let's see. Givers have to set boundaries because takers don't have them. So this post said, givers have to set boundaries because takers don't have them is a truth that can't be ignored. But people who weren't honored as children have to be extra vigilant because they were taught that their boundaries didn't matter. Break the curse by believing your peace deserves to be considered. Peace is your birthright. And that is really a part of the thinking that really got me to where I was like, oh, I don't have to feel uncomfortable. It's lit. And I kid you not. There was an actual moment where it clicked for me. And I was like, oh, I don't have to sit with this discomfort. Like, I don't have to deal with this discomfort. I do not have to wrap my ego, my pride, my feelings, my resiliency. I don't have to do any of that. I could simply reject this experience. Set a boundary. I'm not dealing with this. This is not my problem. I would rather not. No. Do not talk to me like that. Excuse me. Don't touch me. All of those things, these the little ways that I had been taught in so many ways, and as we come to this conclusion every time we have a conversation about the ways that we don't show up for ourselves, we go back to experiences we had when we were little that taught us that as a part of our existence, we would have to be uncomfortable. There would be things we would have to deal with. So when you make a choice to set boundaries, you're telling yourself, I don't have to exist in discomfort. I am allowed to be. I am allowed to enjoy my day. I'm allowed to feel in control of my body. I'm allowed to not speak to you because it causes me, whatever discomfort. Those are things that I do have control over, and they shape how I can be comfortable through the day.
Right. I think that's an amazing point to like leave on and wrap up the episode with, because like it's always going to be a reoccurring thing in people's lives, and specifically, like I said, my new year, I'm definitely trying to create healthy and stable boundaries, because that is a thing that I've battled with in my past and still a little bit to this day, and just really being concrete in those no's, like really understanding that, like, girl, it is okay if this person does not text you back, you do not have to double text them, right? Or like if you fall out with a person, like hit them up in a couple of months, be like, hey, do you want to have a conversation? Do you want to see why we ended like that? Like, girl, no, you don't always have to do that. And if you don't want to, if that relationship was very toxic, or looking at the big picture, not the moment, because I think a lot of times we do that, is we look at the moment. How do you feel in this moment? Well, I feel like I want to reconnect. Well, how did you feel in the moment when y'all were actually together, right? Like, how do you feel in that actual space when you weren't? Because if you feel like you can feel lonely right now, because we do a lot of things out of emotion, out of loneliness, out of depression, out of anger, and however, not thinking about like the long-term effects. So I wanted to definitely think about that and get back to follow up what we originally started off with, because I think that's why the conversations, the close friends thing, and then also like my relationships or just interactions with these fellows, these guys, it's just like that boundary, right? And then also our close friends, that boundary of like what I want to show you and what I want us to be a part of, or just like creating that the whole time.
Full circle moment. I appreciate that. That was nice.
Girl, there's always a reason. There's always a reason. I'm just playing. But of course, there's always like, this is just, this is us. But if you all want to continue the conversation, first of all, amazing show. Amazing.
Yeah, thank you.
I love it.
I enjoyed this.
two peas in a pot. Anyways, if you all would like to continue the conversation with me or Derwin on our social medias, you can hit me up on my Instagram and Twitter at _Lord Every. That is _LORDEVERY.
And you guys know that you can find me on Instagram at Derwin King. That's DERWINKING. And on Twitter at Free Negro. That's FREENEGREAUX.
And if you all would like to be a guest on the podcast, you can hit us up at thatblackboyjoypodcast@gmail.com. You also can follow us on Instagram and Twitter at thatblackboyjoy. And if you all just want to converse with us, please, if you want to be a guest, please reach out. Let us know. We love our guests. We want people to be on the show. And also, like you all know, we are on YouTube as well. So check out us on YouTube at thatblackboyjoy. Stream us, subscribe, all that stuff. But like we always tell our guests at the end, is please be so in love with who you are.
I'm talking about the